This is the Countess who bathed in the blood of virgins. Elizabeth Báthory is listed in the Guinness World Records as being the most prominent female serial killer of all time. With over 650 victims, and throughout the years, she's inspired countless vampire legends like the Countess from American Horror Story Hotel. Inside her castle was a torture chamber where she would jam pins and needles under the fingernails of her servants before she would then smear their bodies with honey to let the insects feast. And then after the death of her husband, she becomes completely unhinged, and this is when she begins to abduct local peasant girls with the help of her servants. Once she would get a victim back to the castle, she would regularly bite chunks of flesh from the victims, and then horrifically, one of the victims was even forced to cook a chunk of their own flesh before eating it. Once done with the torture, she would then bathe in the victim's blood, as she believed that the blood of virgins would help keep her healthy and youthful. Rumors of her horrific reputation circulated for years, but since she was part of nobility, these were always ignored. It wasn't until she began to actually abduct other daughters of noble people that the king intervened, which causes her castle to be invaded. In January of 1611, Elizabeth and her 3 servants were put on trial for at least 80 counts of murder after 300 witnesses and survivors confirmed the claims of torture. Aside from the witness accounts, there was also the mutilated bodies that were recovered at the castle. Due to the mounting evidence, Elizabeth and her 3 servants were found guilty. The 3 servants were actually executed, but due to Elizabeth's titles, she was not, and instead was confined to a room of the castle. For 3 years, that room was her prison until she was discovered dead at the age of 54 in August of 1614. While there is plenty of evidence that shows that she was a monster, there also are modern historians that have a different theory. Some historians argue that Elizabeth herself could have actually been a victim to a politically motivated conspiracy to strip her of her wealth and power. Follow along as we continue to unbox the other real people who've inspired the different American Horror Story seasons.